Republicans are about to drop a boot on their base as their plans to decimate Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid get increasingly difficult to hide.
You're out here asking questions.
What is the question?
All of your questions. So
This is a mailing from
the Americans.
This is Donald Trump.
Trump. We all campaigned on protecting seniors' Social Security. You can't lie about it. See, yeah, this is your political agenda. You know what? We don't care.
That's Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump's mailing.
No, you're not media.
That's Donald Trump's mailing.
Right here is for Democrat ads to attack Republicans.
So it's really simple. It's really simple.
No, it's
Will
not
you
simple.
pledge
No, you're a
to take
liar.
Social Security and Medicare cuts off the table?
You and this guy right here, look, you're lying.
What am I lying about?
Because
I'm asking you to take a pledge.
I don't need to take a pledge because we've already done that all year long. And guess what? The sad story for you is the American people elected Trump, his agenda, and Republicans to lead the country because you guys suck so bad.
So I'm just wondering if you want to take a pledge to not cut Social Security and Medicare.
This overspending that's going on in Washington, D.C. and start to get responsible. And by the way, it doesn't have to be just the discretionary spending. We can get at some of the mandatory spending also. I mean, like food stamps, some of those things, that's mandatory spending. You know, I think some of the benefits that are paid in regards to the work requirements, I mean, some of that is under the heading of mandatory spending. We can deal with some of that, too.
Entitlements ever be on your plate?
At some point they will be. We have tremendous growth. We're going to have tremendous growth. This next year, it'll be toward the end of the year. The growth is going to be incredible. And at the right time, we will take a look at that. You know, that's actually the easiest of all things, if you look.
The safety net programs, but the reality is they're headed towards bankruptcy. In just a few number of years, Social Security goes belly up. So does Medicare, Medicaid, all of these big spending programs, because we're drowning in debt.
In a post on Truth Social, you said that seniors should not pay tax on Social Security. And of course, this made big news, but the Committee for a Responsible Budget says that will mean increasing deficits by $1.6 to $1.8 trillion.
Because we can cut other costs. There's so much waste in our government.
So that's what I want to ask. Where do you get the revenue to offset that? Because it's also apparently going to advance the insolvency date of Social Security's retirement trust fund by over a year.
Well, you know, one of the things good about that is that's when people will make a deal. You know that. But we're going to take care of Social Security. We're not going to do anything to hurt our seniors.
This has been their goal for years. Their base has to know that this was always on the table, and the only reason they ignored all the warning signs about Trump's second presidency is that they like to hear white people talking about mass deportations.
Take this show on the road and show the American people what's going on. You have a president who lied to people and said he was going to fight for working class families, but yet he's amassed the richest cabinet in the history of our country. So you expect him to believe that someone like Elon Musk, who's worth over $340 billion, is going to be in charge of helping to decide what my mom's Social Security check is going to be? Mm-hmm. And so I think we really need to take this on the road to show people, and it's going to help us, of course, take the House back.
President Trump at least has called for tax cuts. Most people don't realize that when they retire, all of a sudden they're being double taxed because their Social Security is taxed. That's a good idea, but President Trump doesn't pay for that. And when you don't pay for that, the money comes directly out of the trust fund, therefore hurting everybody in the program, because it would reduce Social Security benefits by 36% as soon as 2031.
Traditional pension plans have become an endangered species on their way to extinction, and the result for workers has been tragic. In 1983, 31% of American workers were at risk of not being able to maintain their standard of living in old age. In 2020, that number rose to 51%. In other words, we are moving in exactly the wrong direction. All right, that's the problem. What do we do to address that crisis? First, at a time when far too many seniors are living in poverty and many have nothing in the bank for retirement, we must expand Social Security, not cut Social Security, as many of my colleagues in Congress would have us do. Congress, and we must make Social Security solvent for the next 75 years so it'll be there for our kids and our grandchildren. Legislation that I have introduced, along with 9 co-sponsors, accomplishes those goals. According to the Social Security Administration, the legislation that I've introduced would be make Social Security solvent for 75 years and increase benefits by $2,400 a year for seniors who need them. How do you do that? My goodness. How do you do that? Well, at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, we have the radical idea that maybe the people on top should start paying their fair share of taxes. Today, a billionaire pays the same amount of money into Social Security as somebody who makes $168,000 a year as a result of the cap on the Social Security payroll tax. Got that? You make $1 billion a year, you make $168,000 a year, you pay the same amount. Anybody in America think that makes sense? I don't.
In order to survive these next 4 years without losing our GD minds, the left absolutely has to fight Trump's presidency head on. We can't break bread with fascists, that should go without saying. We need to make sure that grassroots activists are not only listened to and respected, but given the actual power necessary to make change happen. These are the people who've been fighting day in and day out, and the people we should be asking what we can do to move things forward. Now, the Democratic Party has proven itself to be wholly ineffective, both before and after the election, and completely out of touch with the American people. The party must acknowledge that some people will be significantly more vulnerable to Trump's whims than others, and we need to stand in solidarity with those people. This is going to be a rough ride no matter what we do, but we'll be in much better shape to fight it if we stick together. When you click the join button and become a Tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?